I'm telling y'all, we already got 63 people in here. AOC, the growth, capital G. All right,
Yes,
you
sir.
cannot compete with the Cowboys Collective. Let me tell y'all something. Episode 14, we're going strong. If you missed this episode, you're
I don't know what you're doing. You ain't a Cowboys fan. That's what it is. You ain't a Cowboys fan.
Listen,
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on now with it. If y'all missing this episode, come on with it.
now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Episode 14, Law Nation, AOC, John Machota. When I tell you everybody on this screen has been working, it's honestly a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have this many great minds in the community. And when this show came together, it was like you didn't think you would get this much heat, and now it's just like boom. So you guys know the deal. John Machota, what are you hearing on the beat?
I'll tell you the most interesting thing from last week in Indianapolis was to go out there and not have Jerry on the bus.
Okay.
I was really like, okay, there's something going on here. And then so we wait in the hotel lobby of their team hotel where we're supposed to, usually meet with him. And there's a group of us. We waited for 6 hours, never saw him once. And then he went to dinner. And so people we were talking to were like, he might have left after dinner. And so myself and another reporter, Todd Archer, we were like, well, we're going to go back to the hotel in the morning. And Todd got there probably an hour before I did. We waited another 3 hours. Wow. And then Jerry come walking out. And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm glad everybody else left. We're just going to be me and Todd. We'll get all the good stuff. It'll be worth it. And Jerry wouldn't even stop. He kept walking. I was like, wow. It was stunning because he understands how much money all our companies pay to send us out there for a week and how, I'll just tell you, I guarantee you this will happen because he does it all the time. He will thank all of the companies in his opening press conference at training camp because he knows how expensive it is to send everybody out to training camp. And he didn't stop or anything. He was just like, I'll talk to you guys when we're back in Dallas. And so my immediate thing was because, let me also make sure that you guys know, he was moving fine. When I tweeted this out, some people were like, well, maybe he's in bad health. No, he was fine. Okay. He just, instead of being normal Jerry, he was Jerry like Leonardo DiCaprio leaving Nobu, where he was hot and stuff. And I was like, this is really bizarre or whatever. And then I was thinking, okay. And I know AOC is getting excited, but I was like, oh, we could be onto something. Maybe he won't talk on Wednesday at Zach Martin's thing, but then he talked today. So it was like, was he really just doing that just so he didn't blow up the OSA deal? He didn't want to help himself because they were so close on that? Because I'll tell you right now, the very first one I went to, because this to me would be the most realistic thing that they could do. That would be the biggest most exciting thing that they could potentially do, and that's like, well, what if they're working on a trade? I'm like, what if they're working on like a draft trade? Like to trade up and maybe get in like Are you guys hearing any feedback on your end?
Yeah, a little bit on my end, but what about you guys? Are you hearing a little echoes?
It's a little bit, but it's not.
Do you want me to put in my like headphones or
Is it? Hold on.
Yeah, probably so.
Phone. It might
Yeah,
be
you
my
got
phone.
headphones, it'll work.
I'm not gonna lie. Story time with John. We need some music, Law. Story time. I don't want you to.
Let me just finish this point and I'll go grab my headphones. But no, I was just going to say that. So I was thinking, hey, well, maybe they're working on a move up, like into the top 5, like to maybe get Travis Hunter. That's the type of thing. That's the type of thing where like they need wide receiver too. They need corner help. I'm like, that's the type of swing that you take that you're like, man, that's old Jerry Jones. Like, man, like, now don't get me wrong. You're going to have to give up a lot of picks to do that. You're going to give up 12. You're going to give up next year's either 1 or 2 or something like that. But you're going to give up a lot. But that's the type of move where they do it. And Jerry's saying like, well, we think we're getting 2 players for 1. So that's why we gave up the pick and stuff like that. But I don't think that that's the case. But that was the most realistic because they're not trading Dak. They're not trading Micah. And so what else would he be being quiet for? Not unless there's some type of a legal matter he has in his own personal life that he didn't want to get into. But it was a very bizarre Jerry Jones weekend in Indianapolis. But then he talked today for about 10, 11 minutes. And it sounded like the same old Jerry Jones where it was like, yeah, I wouldn't say we're going to be aggressive, but, we can do some things or whatever. But I think we can.
It's Jedi Jerry now.
Yeah,
Jedi Jerry.
Jedi Jerry right there. I ain't worried about that. I'm not worried about that noise. I see people losing their mind about the stuff he said today. I'm not worried about it. And everybody should have fully expected Jerry to speak at Zach Martin's retirement. Everyone should have expected that.
Right.
I think I know where AOC.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've covered this team for a long time, been around Jerry a long time. Him not talking after the Zach Martin and just walking away to another thing would be less surprising than him not talking to us in Indy. I'm telling you, the big part of this thing is the money side. He knows this has been going on forever. We're not at the Four Seasons out in Las Colinas. He knows how expensive it is for us to go to Indy. How, let's be honest, there's other things we get from going there. Obviously, the prospects are there, coaching staff's there. We talked to Steven. But the Jerry Bus thing is the reason that we all go there. And so to not have that was stunning to me. There was nothing. And then the way he walked away from Todd and I, where he didn't even like, it's not even like we were like walking up, started asking questions. I was just like asking him like, hey, Jerry, you got a minute? And he didn't leave right away. He got on the bus. It wasn't like he had to like leave. And so I'm like, oh, maybe he's just pissed at the media or whatever. But then he talked today, so off to the side. So I was like, all right, maybe not. But don't get me wrong. I was kind of getting geeked about like, hey, finally, they're going to do some bold move, man. Like this is great. I've been waiting to cover something like this. So I don't know. We'll see.
And this is the type of stuff that you can only get on the Cowboys Collective with John Machota coming in here and letting us know how it felt to get stiffed by Jerry Jones like a chick waiting on a prom date. I love it. I absolutely love it. And better yet, this is all powered by BetUS, America's favorite sports book. Be sure to use promo code YouTube150 to get 150% back on your first-time deposit bonus, up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Be sure to check out BetUS because you can check out the odds on even the NFL draft and who's going to be the number 1 overall pick right now. I believe Cam Ward is the betting favorite. You can see who will the Cowboys trade for in 2025? Which team will draft Ashton Genty? You can bet on a variety of different things using BetUS. So be sure to check out BetUS on behalf of the Cowboys Collective. But
come on,
let's get back into this.
Yes, collectively speaking. Come on with it, man.
Well, I gotta.
And y'all welcome.
If you got something, yeah, hey, what a read. Listen, between you and Law, y'all
no script sauce out here.
Hey, AOC, you've been on a tear, bro, and you got these reads. Cause I don't.
Yeah.
I'll mess the read up. Hey, YouTube 250. No, it's 150. No. Anyway.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. John left. When he gets back.
Okay.
Ashton, there's a few things that I want to get to John before we start talking about.
Rick! John! Get in the chopper! There he is, Ricky!
I had to reset because I couldn't hear you guys with the headphones, so I'm good now.
Okay, you good? Yeah. Sounds of soft souls and hits and oldies.
Wait a minute, Law.
John.
Wait a minute. You're tickling my eardrums. You're tickling my ear. Too early.
Hey, since we have that graphic up, I'd say that's the
I
other
was
biggest.
just about to.
Yeah.
I want you to.
Yeah, because John was playing Grinch, man. John, answer for yourself, man.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't. I would say that's the biggest thing that come out of the combine for me is that going in, I was like, if Ashton Genty's at 12, there's no question he's the pick. And then leaving there, I was like, yeah, he could be the pick, but it's definitely not anywhere close to what I thought it was.
Right.
I would say wide receiver is heavily in play. Defensive line is heavily in play.
Oh no!
And don't sleep on cornerback either. So
Yeah,
I mean, it
okay.
obviously
Told y'all.
Okay.
I told y'all
But you've
earlier.
been saying that. You've been saying that since show one.
I mean,
I don't want to be out the first guy.
We got a
I mean,
super
I-
chat.
We got super chat.
Come on with it.
Go ahead.
Come
John.
on with it. That's the Lendo Show, man. One of the content creators of the community.
Let's get the supers as
Come
they
on
go,
with
man.
it.
So encourage more people to keep sending them supers in. You get your live feedback from the collective.
Yeah. It says as a $2 collections for the collective. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Pass the collection plate, all right? Appreciate
Donation.
Appreciate half bag of hot Cheetos.
Now, where were you going? Where were you going, John?
Yeah, so I'm not saying that Ashton Genty still couldn't be the pick, but I'm saying that there's some other things that you got to factor in here because with corner, you got to factor in Trayvon Diggs' health.
Right.
And, I do think that, especially with the money they've been restructuring that, I do think there's a really good chance they bring back Jordan Lewis, probably do some other moves like that. But, I mean, to me right now, you got probably about 8 spots that you got to fill. Running back, wide receiver, linebacker, corner. You need probably another offensive lineman, and you need another defensive tackle, and you can use another defensive end. Just because players that you have in some of those positions that you might feel like, oh, well, so-and-so's there, they're not players that have proven it on the field. And so there's 8 spots I think at least that you need to cover. And I don't think you can go in the draft needing 8 spots. You better get that number down to 2 or 3. You got to, and obviously I'm not saying in free agency you're going to get 5 monsters to fill in those 5 of those 8, but you got to get 5 guys that you're like, hey, we can count on this guy. Obviously last year, one of those 5 would have been Eric Kendricks. From what I heard out in Indianapolis. So they're not completely out on Eric Kendricks. He could potentially come back. But the thing with linebacker is it sounds like that the market is a little bit higher in free agency than they were expecting.
Right.
And so that's where maybe you do another one of those mid-round picks like they did for Leafau or some other people like that. But yeah, linebacker is going to be an interesting one there. So, but yeah, so the Genty thing, yeah, I mean, I think it would be fascinating just because of all the connections, but I'm just saying I don't feel as strongly about it today as I did the Sunday when I landed in Indianapolis.
I read the article. It was a good article, John.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a great article.
Yeah,
I'm just heartbroken about the aspect of we bet not go into this draft trying to fill all of those holes like you lamented. We got 10 draft picks and we got probably 8 holes, and you got to figure out a way to get it down to 2. But I know for sure you can nuke it with the running back in the draft. You can go double dipping, and you can make sure that room you don't have to worry about anymore, and you don't have to spend no money on free agency in this running back class because the running back class is heavy in the draft.
Well, I think what will end up happening, I think they'll find a way to get Rico Dowdle done. And so then you can at least say that there's a placeholder there to where every team isn't like, well, they don't have anybody at running back. They're going to take a running back at 12. So even if Genty falls to like 10 or 11, some other team's going to trade up being like, hey, if we want him, we got to get him now. We can't wait till 12. The Cowboys are going to take. You sign Rico, and you can still double dip on running back. One would have to be like probably 2nd or 3rd round, then one later. But that was the other thing that factored into me writing that is that they love the depth of this running back class. They really like a lot of out of backs there. And so that's why when you really think about it, it's like, yeah, dude, well, they like Genty. I mean, they still haven't met with him formally, which they obviously will do. At the Star, he'll be somebody that they talk to a lot and they probably have a good gauge on already. But the thing is that, is it worth using 12 on him? Is he that much better than what you could find in the 2nd or 3rd round versus how different is it? Let's say if the best receiver that you like is there at 12 compared to what receiver could be there in the 2nd or 3rd, because they clearly need a number 2 wide receiver. And so when I look at their roster and I tell you about those 8 spots, that's where I think of like, talking to Stephen Jones today, I asked him about the idea of 2 years ago making those trades, making the one for Gilmore, making the one for Cooks. And he said that they're just as active about that as they've ever been. And that it wasn't just one of those things where they made those trades because they wanted to be super aggressive. They've always had trades out there, but those ended up being positions in need. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's how you fill maybe wide receiver or that other corner spot is with a veteran at one of those spots, that maybe it's through a trade or something like that. I just don't see them spending a lot of money on any one position. Like $20 million a year to Osa. I think that's the most that they spend, on anybody right now in free agency.
So, John, the consensus from what you hear is that they are really all out on Flamingo. Well, Ryan Flanoy, I call him Flamingo, Jonathan Mingo, and both of the Jalen's. So the consensus are that they looked in the mirror and they realized that those guys are not that good.
I don't think that they are 100% there yet, but they know that they need more playmakers, which is pretty obvious. I mean, look at that. It's a little bit different, I guess, if you could say if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, but you look at that Eagles offense, like the blueprint is there. That's how, when you don't have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, that's what the weapons you have to put around at your quarterback, and that's what they have to put around Dak. They need another playmaker to put around Dak, and I didn't get the sense at all from being out there that tight end was going to be, they feel good about tight end. And so where else are your playmakers other than, so you're talking about running back, which Brian Schottenheimer, I'm sure you guys seen the quotes. It seems like he really wants someone that can catch the ball out of the backfield. And then obviously then at wide receiver. And so to me, 12 makes a lot of sense because 12, you could be getting the best receiver, or let's put it this way. It could be like CeeDee Lamb where you end up getting the best receiver, Justin Jefferson, at 12. And when typically in a lot of drafts, you'd have to have a top 5 or 6 pick to get that. So if that's who that is on their board, obviously your guy Tat, who said he does not like going by Tat, by the way, at the combine. But anyway,
really?
he had like a different nickname that he goes by. I can't remember
T-Mac.
what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Because someone asked him about, because that's what everybody out there was referring to him as. But anyway, like somebody like that, big body receiver, he falls to 12, and they love him.
Matthew Golden is in the conversation, I think.
Yeah. Especially with how he tested. Yeah, no. So I'm not saying that Genty can't be the guy. I'm not completely ruling out and saying they're out, but I'm just saying from when I left the combine. Also, well, since we're talking about us, you guys, because you guys study this stuff, what did you think about him being, I think, what was it, 5'8", 5'9"? Seemed pretty short.
I think if you watch the tape, it doesn't bother me too much. Especially, so with all these runners, John, and I was just talking to somebody about Caleb Johnson. Outside zone, edge runs, he needs more of a runway. I think with Genty, he's more of a creator. So like gap schemes and duo, like him being smaller, like in that Josh Jacobs ilk, he kind of actually gets lost. So I don't think of it as an issue. I really wanted to see him run, but I will say this. Running back is the one position where the speed, I'm okay as long as the tape is really good. Like, don't get me wrong. DJ Giddens helped himself running the 4.2, whatever he ran. I mean, not 4.2, 4.5 or whatever. He tested really well. But I don't think like Bo Scatterbo, he was smart not to run because he knows he's not fast. I think that Caleb Johnson probably hurt himself by not running fast. I think Quinshon Judkins helped himself. So, I mean, it doesn't really bother me, John, the height. It doesn't bother me.
One other thing I was just going to add on the offensive line, it sounds like from last week, it sounds like they feel better about offensive tackle than I think a lot of people on the outside do. They feel like that they're going to make some changes. I feel like they're going to make some changes with the new offensive line coach, the new staff, that it's going to fit better to Terrence Steele's strengths. And they really like what they've seen in the offseason so far, especially in the weight room from Guyton. And so
come on with it.
When you say that, or when you hear things like that, then I would say, and it's tough too, because today obviously is a retirement press conference for Zach Martin, but like, you really taking a guard at 12? Like it just with all the holes that you need to fill, like are you really taking guard at 12? But I'm telling you, offensive line, they will not. I'm telling you, offensive line is they have not. That ship has not sailed with the Dallas Cowboys. Believe me. Like I get the feeling they really still believe you need 3 potential ones on your offensive line because of what other teams spend on their defensive line. So maybe it's not. I'm not necessarily saying it's this year, but in the next 2 years, it would not be surprising.
I wouldn't care in the next 2 years.
Okay,
I encourage a lot of people to go back and watch Tyler Guyton tape on his run blocking and how he pull and how he get out in space. I think that he moves pretty.
He moves very fluidly. Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't have any stronger. They don't really have. It doesn't seem like they have much interest at all in moving BB from center. And obviously Tyler Smith isn't going,
and they shouldn't.
And Tyler Smith isn't going anywhere. So really, all you're looking at is right guard, which I know, like if they played today, I mean, you have a starting lineup. But I think that if you could upgrade that position, and then all of a sudden you have Brock who can play guard or center, because that's the thing with this Cowboys offensive line, they haven't had great depth these last few years. So if you get an offensive lineman that you really like a lot, because I could see the belief of, if you did take one at 12, you think he's Tyler Smith. And so if you put Tyler Smith at left guard and Tyler Smith at right guard, obviously your offensive line would be really, but I just feel like there's too many other holes. But that's just
no fun this year. I ain't gonna lie. That's just no fun this year, bro. Offensive line is no fun this year.
No, I get it.
In the words of Nate Newton, big Nate Newton, he said, man, we wasting our time with Matt Walesko and Joshua Ball. So even though, I get it, they drafted those boys and they wanted something in return with them. But granted, this season, I can't wait to see what the new offensive line coach going to do.
Hey, one other thing, just random thing I wanted to tell you, just from being at the Zach Martin press conference today. I don't know why, but I was just surprised by this. Man, DeMarvion Overshown was moving well. Like, no crutches, nothing. Like, walking around like you would have never known they had a knee injury at all. Like, it was pretty wild considering how in depth that surgery was. So anyway, there were a bunch of players. I've been
seeing his workout videos, man. And it does look like he's very far along in his recovery. It is.
Yeah.
Hey, Demo is a cyborg.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that, AOC, because I want to come back to the
reptilian blood.
I had to take a double take because I was like, is that Overshown? Damn.
That must be.
Yeah. So we get some good. Hey, we get some good.
Yes, indeed. Come on, baby. Come on with it. Yes, indeed.
I want to say something to the O-line crowd just to kind of pop my pop, because I actually have a buddy who plays on the Packers and is somebody that I coached in the youth game and everything. So here's the thing: the Packers drafted Jordan Morgan. Remember, tackle out of Arizona. Couldn't get on the field last year, Law. Couldn't get on the field. Couldn't play. They couldn't find anywhere for him on that offensive line. It's the Green Bay Packers. They do a better job than anybody when it comes to developing the whole nine. Olu Fashanu. Remember, everybody.
Fashanu,
this is the best O-line class ever.
Can't miss,
Guess what? Couldn't get on the field over Tyron Smith. Hurt Tyron Smith. The Jets O-line wasn't great. Couldn't get on the field over him. I think my point in that is offensive linemen take a little bit. It's not one of these things to where it's like, yes, we got very lucky and spoiled.
I was going to say the Cowboys have had several.
They got very lucky with Tyler Smith. And was that? He just retired.
Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith,
But guess what, though, John? When he mentioned him, I see the Super, we'll get to it. When he mentioned, when Brian mentioned Guyton 3 times, I knew. Like, bruh, we're not going linemen.
I told y'all so.
Go ahead, say that.
I told y'all so.
I'm curious from you guys and anybody that's listening right now. Are you guys as down on Guyton as you ever were on Mozzie Smith? Because I'm not.
I am not. I'm not.
I hear it a lot.
All, to be honest,
people are critical of him. Okay.
When I went back to look at Tyler Guyton, most of his errors and issues was him processing and penalties. That comes with the territory when you're trying to play left tackle.
He got the tools,
bro. He's the first bus. You know when they're playing high school football, he's the first person to get off the bus guy. To scare the hell out of the other teammates. So Tyler Guyton, he's gonna, and if he's doing what I can't wait to see him. If everybody talking about praising what he's doing off season, shout out to my guy Voch Lombardi who says off season peanut butter. If he fool around and get bigger and stronger, come on with it. I love it.
I'll probably get in trouble for this, but it was like, just get him with Duke Manyweather, and then he went with him and he got worse. So the point is this. I get that. Go with your trainer, whoever. Cool.
Yeah.
Get with the coach. What does the coach want you to do? Let's get a good coach, right? And I love Duke. Shout out to Duke. He does a great job. My point is, I think the issue.
These are the thoughts of Foots the King and Foots the King on.
Remember,
this is not a shot at Duke, but I just this is what I say, John. With a coaching background, there's a difference between coaching and training. Like, again, you go out, you do drill work, this type of stuff, that's all well and good. But is the coach going to put in a plan? What does Schottenheimer say? Schottenheimer said, no, we're going to put in a plan to get Guyton better. He's in the weight room. We're going to put in a plan to get him better. We're not just going to pray and just go draft another tackle, because guess what you got to do with that tackle that you draft? get them better.
Get them better, yeah. Get them learning the stuff, and going through growing pains.
I think we need to backtrack a little bit and do this chronologically. And because one of the things everyone's talking about right now, and I know one of the things that a lot of people in the chat are probably upset about right now are the comments that Jerry made today at the end of the press conference, at the end of Zach Martin's retirement speech. By the way, Zach Martin, that was a very long speech. I appreciate you, my brother, but that was a very long speech, bro.
It was
That was a very long speech, Zach.
Was it longer than Shaq feet?
It was longer than his feet. But, John, I want to kind of start with you on that. What's the feeling? What was the feeling that y'all got from Jerry?
Wrap it up.
Do you feel like Jerry was being serious, or do you feel like Jerry was just talking? Jerry's just fine. He was just finding a way to fill time. He wasn't really trying to give any like real plan of action or what the Cowboys are really planning right today.
It's always tough with Jerry because even if he says something he thinks factually right, I mean, he is the guy that has repeatedly said over the years that just because I said it doesn't make it so. So it could be, he could be running some smoke screens that maybe they will be a little bit more active than they have been. I didn't get that sense. He sounded like same old Jerry to me. But maybe they are. Maybe that's why. I mean, because they're obviously restructuring Dak and CD to be able to do something more than just bringing back Osa.
Yes.
And if you get a new contract done with Micah, you save, or at least you can trim more money off the 2025 cap. And so, like I said, I think they bring back Jordan Lewis. I think they bring back Rico and then a few others. But I think that there's a chance it could be a little bit more like it was in Mike McCarthy's first season where, like we talked about before, he allowed him to go out there and get like Don Terry Poe and some of these guys that, that maybe better fit whatever defense they were looking for under Mike Nolan. Now, it didn't work out, Clinton Dix and some of those guys. But that didn't mean that Jerry and Steven in the front office wasn't like, hey, we get it. There's a new defensive system you want to run. We got to do this. And so for me, the interesting one is, because I remember we talked about on here, was for them to be willing to give Osa 20. They obviously think highly of him, but it's not like they feel like defensive tackles are done. And so if Eberflus really thinks they need like somebody else there, that's an area where I'm like, oh, maybe they go after a veteran there, or maybe they go after a veteran defensive end because they like Nealon, they like Sam Williams, but those are question marks. You haven't seen him prove it. I just don't get the feeling at all that there's any real talks on from the team side on bringing back DeMarcus Lawrence. And I just think that, I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that they would even be in the same ballpark. I don't think he's done playing football. I think he'll go somewhere else, but I just doesn't sound like there's any real momentum there from their side. And so if you don't have DeMarcus Lawrence, then you need another defensive end.
And I think that I wanted to talk about the comments Jerry made because I see a lot of people almost overreacting to it.
Right.
And I'm going to say this. If you are preparing for an arms race, because make no mistake about it, free agency is an arms race. You're not going to do something that's going to preemptively make that arms race even tougher. If Jerry were to come out and be like, we're going to be huge players in free agency this offseason, for one, it puts unnecessary pressure on the front office because people are going to be holding them to that, and they're going to expect them to make the biggest moves, right? So you get the audience in a frenzy. But two, that also does you no good when it comes to actually negotiating for free agents, because what happens if you look desperate? You get taken advantage of, right? So it's smart for the Cowboys to stonewall right now. But if you look at the facts, you're out of your mind. If they were to sign back, they've already got Osa done. If they were to sign back every other free agent they have right now with the cap that they've already created, do y'all realize they would still have like $50 million in salary cap left if they would re-sign back all the rest of the guys they still have available, bro?
Wow.
They're going to do something. They're going to do something by virtue of having to do something, because they're still going to still have to fill the roster. And just relax. Like Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX. Don't let Jerry drive y'all up a wall right now. Please don't let him do it.
Me and AOC
Jerry
on the same time a lot.
On,
let's get to this super chat and put a pin in that AOC because I want to make a point.
Yes, sir.
You got the super chat, Law.
Yeah, it says, hello, fellas. Questions for y'all. If they get DK Metcalf or Adams, would you still be mad if they draft a great guard at 12 and a DT in the second? It's a good question, but this is my thoughts on that. You want to put something on your stomach before you go grocery shopping. So that's what I look at it. And at least it would hedge your bet. So no, if the best player available is a DT, and you go get that. If it's the best player available is an offensive tackle or guard, you go get that. That's how I think of it.
So here's
Nah, you stay away from offensive line the first round this year. I don't care about
Yeah,
that DPA stuff.
now,
I don't care about
if,
none of that.
If Will
said-
Campbell is there,
Man.
if he fool around and slip and slide into the 12th spot, then you have to have a hard conversation with yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Man, forget all that. Forget all that.
Here's
No.
where I'm at. Here's
No.
where I'm at. This is actually a great question. I think that everybody who says best player available, they're lying. Every team.
Come on, bro.
Hey, man,
Come on, bro.
don't shank me with the butter knife.
Real
Go
talk.
ahead.
No, we don't
break
shank
down
you.
your
We don't
philosophy.
shank you.
This ain't your OG law. This one, I would never shake my OG.
I'm shanking.
I grew up with respect. Hey, I gotta fight. AOC, I gotta fight you. I'm gonna come with that's my OG.
It's
But
an evil world we live in.
Come on, go ahead with it.
But this is what I'm saying, Law. The Bears, right? Everybody's going
Pause.
crazy. Oh, the Bears are for sure gonna, they're for sure gonna take Genty. They have to fill 4 spots on that offensive line. I love Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is just like Zach Martin. Zach could probably play right now and be better than some of the guards in the league, right? Because he was Zach Martin, former All-Pro. He's 32 years old.
Right.
You can't build your offensive line off of building it. That's a good stopgap. But the Bears, well, what they just did with Ryan Poles, first of all, drafting Caleb, who wasn't a hit. Caleb did not hit last year. So then you draft Caleb. Then you go out, you sign Keenan Allen over the hill. Everybody wants a free agent. Okay, cool. They signed Keenan Allen. Then they draft Rome Odunze. If Ryan Poles screws this draft up, running back for some teams is a luxury. They have real needs on offense and defense. Now, we have real needs, but the Cowboys are way farther along than the Bears. Real receiver, real piece on defense, real star on defense, and Micah, real franchise quarterback. The Bears don't have that luxury. They're trying to learn a new scheme. They have to protect the quarterback, so that's out. My point is this: if I'm the Dallas Cowboys and you let's say you did get DK Metcalf, if you bring a DK Metcalf, you still need to go get what? A corner, somebody who's going to affect the game. Guard, I'm out. No.
Yeah, it got to be
Tackle,
somebody that's going
I'm
to affect
out.
the game.
Give me. What I will say is this: if you want to go get the best corner with DK, sign me up. Even D tackle, I would probably still be like
12. It's such a defensive tackle draft. Not at 12.
You can talk me into linebacker.
Yeah,
right.
You talk me into linebacker.
If you didn't do anything in free agency, but not to be long-winded, I'm out on guard. John, I'm out on guard.
I just wanted to comment about the wide receiver thing real quick. So I don't see DK Metcalf being realistic at all. And the reason why I say that is because you have to trade for him, but then you also have to pay him. He wants to get paid. And they're not going to do that. What they're going to do if they go after a wide receiver will be more similar to Brandon Cooks. So DK's 27, Cooks was 30. So Cooper Kupp is the one that would make some sense there because I don't see them wanting to commit to any veteran or any of these type of, like, let's say if they go free agency for number 2 receiver, they're not going to want to spend a lot of money there because the way they look at it is we've already spent this amount of money on our number 1 wide receiver. And they already have it factored in how much they're going to pay their number 1 D end in Micah Parsons. And that's why I don't see them as a realistic player, never did on Myles Garrett, because you have to give up the picks, but then also Myles Garrett wants a new contract. And I just don't see them spending the money on those 2 D ends like that. And so that's why I don't think DK is realistic. I think Cooper Kupp is a lot more realistic. And Adams would be in that ballpark as well. But everything I read and hear, I just feel like he got out of that situation because he's just going to go wherever Aaron Rodgers does. But I would, if they're going one of those veteran receivers, I'd go after somebody that's 30 or older that's who I'd be focused on if you're a Cowboys fan, and someone that you're going to get on a 1-year deal or 2-year deal. Because with Kupp, if they do Kupp, it'll be one of those things where the Rams take on some of the money. That's why they would do that.
We need. I don't want to do that again, John. I understand the thought process, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I understand why you're saying that. And based off of Cowboys history, yes, that's exactly what they need to do.
A lot of stuff I say in here, I'm not a fan of. I just tell you what the team thinks.
You're basing your opinion off of reality. Off of
I mean, Steven
data.
even talked about it today about how he doesn't want to give up the draft picks for a major target that is a major player, and then you also have to pay that player. They're just not very interested in that. So that's why I'm saying I would focus on because I do think that it could be like 2 off seasons ago where they did make a couple of trades where you're like, damn, like I didn't see Gilmore or Cooks coming. So maybe that's how if they think Diggs is going to be out for a long time, maybe they go after some type of a veteran corner or somebody like that that's only for a year or something to, re-sign Jordan Lewis and then maybe add a veteran corner. So then you're not having to draft a corner early and it fills a spot on the team. I'd look more towards that than them being a major player on like the first day when free agency starts. I think that you can wait a couple days and then after that, then that's when I think they would be more of a player on free agency. I just don't think any of those, the Athletic, we have a list top 150 free agents. I just still don't think they're going to be a player for one of those like top 25 guys.
I think you're gonna be wrong, and I hope you get in on that bet with me and Law with this egg thing. I really do, man.
I'm not doing the egg thing.
I gotta smash. Hey, if they do make a move, I gotta smash an egg on my head. So that's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough.
I'm holding firm, man. I am holding firm. I'm holding firm.
You guys, if you guys are gonna do that, though, you guys got to do some parameters, though. I mean, like, to what level would it have to be that? You know what I'm saying? Like
a tier 2 or above.
Yeah. A James Washington type is not going to really qualify.
That's like a tier 4 free agent right there. James Washington like a tier 4 guy.
Well, and it can only be through free agency. It can't be through a trade.
No, it's
both.
Either one.
Either one.
It's just the acquisition.
Law. He wants some new acquisitions. He's been that's his bag, and I'm not mad at him for that. All right, let's get to this super chat. Brandy Mahoney, how do we get rid of Booth? I'm glad you brought that up, Brandy.
She said, "Just kidding, not really."
No, you're not. Tell the truth. Tell your truth. Hey, listen.
They already gone, man. We ain't gotta talk about that, man. They released Booth already, didn't they?
But I know what she's saying.
Don't bring him back.
Now I think this kind of is my point. His words directly, and thank you, Lando Show, for the $5 super. Well, $4.99. His words directly contradict the front office's recent actions. Lando does great think pieces. He's awesome with that, and he's right. Jerry was just making a headline, undersell, over deliver.
That's a business practice old as time.
Right.
Business practice
going
old
by
as
that,
time.
though, too, I also have 15 years that back that up. I mean, whatever it was since Brandon Carr. So it's not like it's just like, it's not like covering the Cowboys. It goes up and down. You're like, ooh, is this going to be one of those years they're in? Like 2 years ago? It's like, it hasn't, you know what I'm saying?
John, didn't you just say he left you outside like a prom date waiting on that to pull up in the limo, John?
But then he talked today.
But I mean, he was going to his Zach's retirement. I think any owner is going to give remarks about a player that represents their franchise. I mean,
no, hold on. I talked to reporters all across the league. Trust me very much on this. This is not even. This is
some
fact.
of these owners don't even.
Most of these owners would talk on the podium,
they don't care.
and they would just leave, and they would just look at you like you're a human being. So no.
But
and he could have done the same thing.
Guy, though. I just think that it's wild to assume Jerry wasn't gonna say anything at Zach Martin's retirement. Like it was a given, man. But
he did
talk
to me, at the retirement. I mean, we could have asked questions of him on the podium, but we were told not to ask any non-Zach questions while he was up there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so
because
you did get a chance.
They were going to give them to us after. Yeah.
Oh, you got the walk off.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we walked. Okay. It wasn't even a walk off. They just set up a thing off to the side for like another 11 minutes after.
Yeah,
after
man, he was just giving y'all answers, man. Hey, y'all don't worry about what Jerry said today, man. Jerry was just talking, trying to.
So let me just play devil's advocate then. Why couldn't he have done that in Indy?
Because he didn't want to talk to y'all because Jerry busy, John. Jerry is busy cooking in the kitchen, John. He's busy cooking in the kitchen.
So busy that the general manager of the team shows up on Friday for 24 hours. So busy. Cooking oil and drilling real estate deals, helicopter deals.
Most certainly. So with that,
I hope for your guys' sake I hope you're right, man. It'd be fun to cover.
I am going to balance out this negative realism from John Machota with some overly unrealistic optimism.
I'm telling you, man. I tell people this all the time that don't even care about the Cowboys, just like friends of mine that follow sports. I wish I covered a team that it was like every once in a while you're like, yeah, but remember 3 years ago? Yeah, remember 5 years ago? It's like, no, remember 15 years ago? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Things are different, John.
It's been a lot of time. What's changed? You tell me what's changed.
Jerry ain't talking to y'all.
I'm gonna tell you what's changed.
And then he talked today.
I was about to say, hold on. I'm gonna tell you what's changed. Steven, people don't want to hear this. Steven is running his team. I do think that Jerry is still coherent. He's saying all the right thing, whatever. But the point is this: if it's me really psychoanalyzing this thing, John, Stephen Jones was done with Mike McCarthy. Done. And I'm thinking that he's like, why would I make any investments when I see the writing on the wall. Now, if you want to tell me there was a fight between Steven and Jerry, and he's like, okay, you know what, Dad? He calls him Jerry. You don't even call him Dad. Jerry, you know what? Keep Mike. He's coaching. I'm not investing anything in this. Go fix it, Mike. And guess what? Mike did?
That makes sense.
That makes a ton of sense, Foots.
And guess what Mike did? It was a waffle, and it was a lame duck year and injuries and all that. But guess what? Now Steven swoops in and says, hey, this is who should have been coaching the team. This is who was in meetings and knows the team and has the energy and is up as a coach. That's why he's been out for. Hey,
can I ask y'all a question?
He's been smiling. He's been doing all these things. And so to me, that's what's different.
Well, right before you ask the question, I just want to add on to that point. So, yeah, there's no question. I mean, Steven's there every day. Like he's at the combine on Sunday and he's there all week. You know what I'm saying? Like the way Jerry operates is kind of like what you see on the draft camera. Like honestly, like how many players in this draft class do you think Jerry can really name? I mean, we joke around about yeah, exactly. So he gets in that room. Barely. Like today's a great example. You know, today was obviously honoring Zach Martin. It's a great example. But it's like everybody in the room was like, we've put in the work. We know Zach Martin's a way better prospect than Johnny. But Jerry throws it out there, but it's not like Jerry's going to fight the whole room on it. They've been doing all the work. He's not stupid. He became a billionaire for a reason. He's going to listen to the people that have spent the most time. And there's no question that Steven is putting in a lot more time on that day-to-day with the football side of it. So, yeah, no, none of the stuff that you said, Foots, I disagree with. But I will say at the end of the day, though, that Jerry will still make the final decision. That's just something he's not going to give up. But he listens. I mean, he's not like whatever, you know, but he's not around everything to not listen, you know, like he can't sit there and talk about like some DN prospect he's never seen. He's going to lean on Will and the scouting staff for stuff like that. Not like, you know, there's probably a lot of GMs in the NFL. They're like, nah, I watched that guy too. I don't like this. We're not taking him there. And it, you know, and it is what it is, but that's just the way the Cowboys operate. Sorry. What were your questions?
No, you're good, John. You cooking, my brother. Can I ask y'all a question to go along with both of y'all points a little bit? Mainly Foots' point. Law, Foots, John, if you were someone in charge of signing players and making these big deals and making these commitments, essentially, right, and you had a guy that was in charge that was on a lame duck year contract, and while everyone would think that common knowledge would say, hey, get some players to help this guy, what if that guy didn't come to you with a plan of action for players that he specifically wanted, and he told you, hey, I want this player because I'm going to do this with this player, and we're going to use him this way, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. If Mike McCarthy didn't have a plan of action, a clear vision, like we can all tell what Brian Schottenheimer's clear vision is.
Facts,
we
you can see it.
Tell. We can all tell. If Mike McCarthy never had that, which I don't know what his clear vision was here.
Just like anything.
I don't know what it was at all. It was just what Dallas Coast offense. I mean, that's all it was, really.
Yeah, just like anything.
If you can't sell someone the vision, how is Steven them going to believe in making those commitments that they're not comfortable with making? To me, your head coach has to be a good salesman.
No, and that could be a big part of it because Mike didn't seem like he wanted a big say in a lot of that stuff because he didn't really have that say in Green Bay, and it worked out fine. When I was around him in 2020, the COVID year, there were a lot of things that I was just like, there's no way this is going to work. Like, it just didn't seem like, now this is coming off of Jason Garrett, Garrett's all over the place during practice and everything like that. And Mike was very like hands off, like kind of did his thing or whatever. And I was like, this is going to be a disaster. And obviously that season was a disaster. And you're just like, oh yeah, well, I knew this was going to work. And then they win 12 games 3 years in a row. Like it's like, it's hard for me to sit there and say that like, we know definitively because I never would have thought that they would have had, I thought maybe they would have had one 12-win season and then a bunch of like 7-8-win seasons like this last season. But there was something about like, it's just tough for me to just completely dismiss. Like there are things that McCarthy is going to know because he's obviously been a Super Bowl winning head coach and things like that to just completely write him off where it would have been way easier to do that if it was the previous head coach. Cause you're just kind of like, well, I don't know if he even knows what he's doing, but I'm not saying about Jason because I do think he did know. I just don't think he was a great coach. But with Mike, I mean, he does have some skins on the wall, you know? And so, I mean,
I think that was right place, right time, man. Mike, right place, right time, bro.
And that's fine, but I've seen, there's just been too many times with the Cowboys, again, like when I'm talking about the up and down, like the Cowboys have been up and down.
You know what like the crazy thing is, John?
Not since Dak has been here. Since Dak has been here, the only time they've had a bad season was he's been injured.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying they win 12 games in 3 consecutive seasons. That hadn't happened since Aikman.
Yeah.
But they
Right.
won 13 his rookie year. Then he
Yeah.
threw for 4,800 in 29. Like Dak has been he's elevated and honestly bandaged and hidden a lot of issues on his team
Sure.
and elevated this team in many ways. Then
Yeah.
you add Micah to that, elevating the other side.
No question.
You're bound to make
Right.
this team look better than what it actually is, whether it's a well-coached team or not.
But then there's
You know?
even a part of me that, like, when you say Micah, there's a part of me too when you said the thing about wanting the players and how we think that, yeah, he's probably a little bit more hands off.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably was pretty good to be hands off and let the guys that had the job do their job and get Micah and CD and Tyler Smith. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, I'm just saying this because I think it's easy that when it's over, everybody looks back and just talks about how bad something was. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, there was some good there too, you know, that you
Well,
just can't
well,
assume that all the good's going to get carried over.
But
too.
Dak,
Like,
while
there's
it was
gonna be some
going on,
growing pains.
said they was having bad practices, man.
Yeah.
To me, when you hear a player say you're having bad practices
Consistently, saying that. Yeah.
consistently, that is an indictment on the coaching staff, 100%. Because the
Yeah.
coaches are who run the practices, man. Like, let's stop it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me, that says a lot.
I mean, we don't get to watch all the practices, so that is an interesting take because I do believe that that was the case and probably was throughout like
why they came out flat.
Belichick with the Patriots. But the older I get, the more I watch like the generations that are taking over now, and you just look at the head coaches that are being hired. I think that's a lot on the leadership of the players too, though, more than it's ever been. I'm not saying,
But if you look at the teams that are
running
winning,
but they got
the
the players
being
that,
led by the coaches.
yeah.
So I'll say this. I got to
You
push
think
back.
you think there's a lot of
I'ma
fear
say
in
this.
Philly for Sirianni? You think they're just fearful? You
I
Jalen
think they're
Carter's worried
practicing
about
harder than
Sirianni
the
getting
That's a
Cowboys.
good point. That's a
You
good
think-
point.
you
But
think-
Sirianni,
you're so nervous
He's
about
fiery though. Sirianni fiery though.
Sirianni was cuss
you're
you
so
out.
worried
though.
about him that you're bringing books on the sideline and stuff like they're not worried
Oh,
about
yeah.
Sirianni.
Well, so-
That's a talented roster and it's rolling because
Well,
that's
I'm gonna tell you, but the
That's
one
good.
thing that I
True
will,
that. Good point.
The one coach that I will say still practices his team very hard, and Debo came out and said it, is Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. He
said,
run them like
they get
slaves.
every day.
Come
he
on.
said they he said they're very well conditioned. So I
all right,
get what you're saying,
because I bet you that I can't compare because I'm not at both of them.
Dan
But
Campbell
you know
out there.
who I thought you know who I
Dan
thought you
Campbell
were
ain't
gonna
out there
say?
running great practices.
I don't know about that, but
Dan
I
Campbell
can
be
tell
out
you.
there doing up downs with his guys and stuff. I
Well,
know he
Yeah,
out there
that's
running
fine.
practices.
But in terms of practicing hard, maybe they don't practice harder than the
Detroit
Niners.
be out there scrapping, man. They
Hey, to be fair
Hold
to
on,
Mike
can I finish
McCarthy,
this
just
point?
on this little
I'm not
point. To
talking
be
about the
fair,
Lions here.
to be
The
fair to
team
Mike
that is
McCarthy.
the most physical in practice is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's not
Right.
even close. They always they're going
And Mike
hard.
Tomlin.
The
Mike
first
Tomlin's
week,
an unquestioned leader there.
right?
yeah,
and what has that
unquestionably.
gotten them?
But they haven't gotten them
miserable
anywhere.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, miserable. But I'm just gonna say this. I'm
They're
gonna
not
say
happy
this.
about those old Super Bowls.
John.
I'll say that right now.
John, we did hear reports that Mike McCarthy was fined for having too tough of a practice or doing something too much in practice. So, it goes with each
Let me
other.
just- let me
So
ask
he's
you
gone.
this. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Man, he
anything.
ain't know
Let
the
me just
rules.
see-
He ain't know his
let
damn
me-
job, Lord.
Let me just ask you this.
He's gone
I don't-
now.
I don't know this to be true, so I'm just going to throw it out there as just so we can just speculate. We can go back and forth. I'm not reporting this or anything, but
Yeah.
I wonder about these things.
Okay.
So I talk to people that cover the Steelers, and they talk about how physical their practices are. How come they aren't turned in? Is that maybe some players don't like the way coaches are doing stuff, so then they turn it into the PA? So
Oh, interesting.
is it maybe that?
That's an interesting conversation point.
All right, let's get to these super chats, y'all.
I'm telling you, man. I heard the Steelers hit early in training camp, where I'm like, the Cowboys are
cooking
just
today,
in shorts and t-shirts. I'm like, are you kidding? And they're like, no, they're like smacking each other. I'm like, well, I guess if it was leading the Super Bowl is fine, but like it does not look like that way is kind of working anymore, to be honest with you.
Mike McCarthy came out there trying to run Oklahoma drills. They're like,
This is what we'll do, y'all. This is what we're gonna do for the second time. We'll do one person take each of these super chats. So let's go here with JC Cowboys. Dre Greenlaw, and I'm popping bottles for the culture. I'll take that one. I love Dre Greenlaw. I just don't. It's reported that he wants long-term security, and I would give him more of a 1-year prove it deal, especially coming off that injury. And San Fran shut him down, JC. So I don't know. Just don't know where he's
he don't
at
want a
health-wise.
1-year prove it, Foots. He already said that.
Yeah.
He told San Francisco he's not going to
No,
sign
that's what I'm
the
saying.
1 year
And
they
I would
offered
give
him.
him. I would not give him a long-term deal.
Yeah,
coming
that's
off
what he
of
want
that
though.
year.
I'm not paying
He can only get what the market is rendering too, by the way.
On
So-
defense, you better be a game record defensive tackle or a big time pressure player up front or a shutdown corner. That's all I'm paying on defense, big money.
I agree with
this
that,
was for
John.
you.
NJ, take the money out. She said, "Law, refund my money back so I can send a super chat." Anywho, I'm picking Henderson over Genty What's you guys take on that?
Angie got her hair done. That's my take. She got her hair done.
She got a hair done. Yeah, come on, Angie, come on. Angie got that bankroll. Don't let her play with y'all. But no, I like Henderson. I like what he can bring to the table. He's a damn good blocker, by the way. He can catch out of the backfield. But my thing is, I have reservation on his linear build as well as his injury history. I think that he will be a good complement back, but I think that my guy Genty, he's built like a bowling ball, 5'8", 211. Man, come on with it. Got low center of gravity. Man, give me Genty over Henderson.
Hey, Angie, here's another note on that with Henderson. Ohio State brought in Quinshon Judkins because Henderson couldn't stay healthy. I don't look at him as a lead back year one, and we don't know if we're gonna re-sign Rico. Like John said, they want to, but we just don't know. Thank you for that, Angie. All right, here we go. Trade for DK this year's fifth. I guess that's what he's saying. And the third, draft Hampton 12th. D tackle from Oregon at 40. He got the whole draft ready. And
right, let's go.
Big wide receiver at 76.
Savion Williams.
So you want to have Savion and DK. Okay. I'm not mad at it. I just don't know how realistic.
Two monsters. I don't know how you gonna put them boys out on the field. CD gonna have to live in the slot.
Yeah, he definitely got to live.
CD gonna have to live in the slot for real. Then.
Yeah. Thank you, Big Dex, for the $4.99. And let's get to Angie came back, but let's get to this. Let's get to Brandy Mahoney. So we can really pass on Genty. What do you think about that, AOC? Could we really pass on Genty?
If T back there, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm gonna be honest.
Me neither.
There's about three or four running backs.
I would not be mad at Golden.
I wouldn't be mad at Matthew Golden either. There's about 3 or 4 running backs I'm okay with. Like I'll be confident with having as RB1. I'm looking at obviously a Genty, obviously a Marion Hampton, but I like Damian Martinez a lot. I like I love the disposition he plays with, bro.
Right.
I love the disposition.
Oh, you want to know something interesting about him?
3 years max.
You in your bag with him, AOC. So Martinez actually was at Oregon State.
Yeah.
And the scheme was totally different than Miami. So he was a guy who was downhill. They were under center a lot when he was at Oregon State. Then he transferred to Miami and he got like 1,003 yards. So he just got over 1K. He's a dog. Like people bounce off of this guy. I love Martinez.
I like DJ Giddens too. If you have to pick a running back a little bit later because the value of other positions is really good. I like DJ Giddens a lot, man. I do.
I got a hot take on
and Giddens going to be able to already know most of the concepts in the scheme. Yeah. And hey, get him on his team. He already knows BB, and it'll be good especially with Connor Riley. So I wouldn't be mad at DJ, especially he ran a 4.40.
It's not Genty or bust.
It's double dipping.
At 12, I want Genty at 12, but it's not Genty or bust for me.
I'm gonna tell y'all something about DJ Giddens because I was tweeting about him during the college season. With what he did at the combine and his athletic testing, I believe you would have to draft him in the second round. Now, people will say Foots, that's too rich, but everybody who keeps telling me and showing me mock drafts with, Henderson in the second round or this running back in the second, I think there's going to be a run on running backs. We're not the only team that wants to run the ball now.
Facts.
Yeah. We would have been ahead of the curve when I see John smiling.
It's not about. I'll tell you what it's about in a second. It's not about that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we're not ahead of the curve anymore. If you would have drafted in that Gibbs Bijan draft, you were ahead of the curve with your running back. Okay. Remember, the first back that went off the board last year was who? Jonathan Brooks. He's hurt. That was in the second round. There was no first round running back last year. There is, mark my words, there's going to be a run on running.
Everybody keep talking about Caleb Johnson. I ain't gonna lie to you. Usually I don't let the combine shift my thoughts on the guy, but you can't run a 4.6 as a running back. I'm sorry. I cannot have a 4.6 running back out there. You might as well re-sign Rico, bro. Real talk.
Goal line Johnson. That's what he be.
Hey, real quick, when you said the thing about you're not Genty or bust, all I was thinking about how I was like, I kind of talked myself into being Travis Hunter or bust, and the only reason to say that, hey, Laws, it's only because of training camp. You know how those videos would go off in training camp?
Oh, yeah.
Travis Hunter, oh, my God.
Yeah.
When I was going through all the different possibilities in my head, when Jerry didn't talk to us, I was like, man, Hunter would be so great for training camp.
That's what I'm saying, John. That's why we don't need O-line in round one, John. If you get a skill position, them videos going to be popping off in all season.
Yes, indeed.
Travis Hunter's going out there, lining up on the same side as CD. And then on another play, he's lining up, going against CD.
Going against man.
Yeah.
But
This
hey,
is what we need.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. All you folks out here, stop stealing my man John stuff. Y'all got to. Hey, I told y'all.
Hey,
I am your agent, John.
Come back, thief.
let's call out one right now because this
Let's
one
go.
really
Oh,
annoyed me
y'all
today.
getting spicy.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap. Come on with it.
I
Come
don't
on,
know.
boy. Y'all better watch out. Y'all haven't seen Fiery John.
Honestly, you guys send me some stuff that, like, with people, like, I don't care, like, they tag me in it. It doesn't bother me when that. I'm talking the thing that annoys me are these accounts that would just straight copy and paste your stuff. And let me explain to you how I know how it's being done. So there's this one right now that annoys me. It's called Underdog NFL. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is how I know what they're doing because I tweet these quotes from Jerry right after he talks to us. You can't do any live or anything, so you can't be watching it like it's a press conference. It's off to the side. And so when you've been doing this job long enough, you know that transcriptions of quotes, they're like fingerprints. Like anybody can listen to the same thing. No one's quoting things twice. And then here's my biggest friend. It's called an ellipses. So like you don't put the two sentences together because they don't go back together. But what happens is that people just take that out and they just run that as one sentence and posted it like a minute later, no credit or anything. I'm like, I know where you got that from. And also, by the way, the reason I know is because there's been past media members that had done it, and then I told them I knew what they were doing or whatever, and then they stopped. But those are the only ones that I always like. I'm like, how did you get that exact quote? Jerry talked for 12 minutes, and you got the exact same quote, including you skipped the same 7 sentences I did? Okay, cool. Those are the only ones. But the other people that give credit or whatever, it's whatever. I don't care. I mean, it's
I don't know, John.
Machine Gun John, but y'all better watch out.
Like that mafia out here.
Yeah.
Man, that's straight copy and paste. That's so embarrassing. Like I would be so embarrassed to do that. Also, by the way, I guess I should like it because then you're obviously trust me that I'm not just making up a fake quote, and you just went with it like it's a fact. But yeah, no, those are the only ones.
Hey, you just do us a huge favor. Do it one day on April 1st, right? April Fool's Day, right?
Yeah. People repost it.
Yeah.
I can't do that because people will be mad at me because it'll be like, some trade up for Travis Hunter thing or whatever like that. They're that's who they're targeting. Oh, people will be so angry. I'm not going to do that.
Spicy John. Come on, man.
Get him, man. All right, here we go. How much of the shoddy Kool-Aid are y'all drinking? I'll take this one. I'm over here drunk and pouring another cup. I'll say this about the shoddy Kool-Aid, right? I actually had a guest on the other night, and I said, you know what? He's right. Right now, he's done everything up to this point. I think he's aced it. But now he has to go out and coach.
Deliver. Yeah.
I think the draft is going to be good. I think the rest of free agency is going to be good. AOC is giving us reasons. We've all had these reasons. He does have to go out and call plays. He does have to be situationally better than Mike McCarthy. Situationally, Mike McCarthy sucked. And he does have to act on, okay, if you say you want to run the ball, we want to see it. Right. We want to see it, and I don't want any excuses.
Quarter
we'll
runs.
Give you grace. Yeah. We'll give you grace. But hey, Angie, I'm drinking it because he sounds authentic. It doesn't sound fake. And everybody who's talked about him sounds authentic.
Tad loved him. We talked. Me and Law talked to Tad today, and I mean, them dudes are in love with Shotty. But I mean, they really have a super high opinion of Shotty. And
who?
Prescott.
Okay. The Prescott, the Tad. Yeah.
Well, no.
Tad.
So the main main PR guy for the Cowboys is named Tad too. So there's actually 2 Tads. So I know you might think it's only a one person, but Tad.
Let's end that conversation. AOC, how was it? What are you getting? Because
it was great, man. Y'all gonna see it pretty soon.
Oh,
it was great.
Yeah.
So they keeping stuff from us. Okay,
can't keep it. We can't keep it a little bit. We gonna open the gate up though. We're gonna open the gate up.
And the only thing I want to add on that is just it's the in-game situations of having to focus on offense for the first time while also being the head coach of the team. So you're gonna have to lean on a lot of staff members. Analytics. I can tell you this right now.
Clayton Adams.
More Cowboys analytics people out at the combine than I've ever seen. Like I was at this restaurant one day and there's like 6 people with Cowboys gear on that worked with the team, and I'd never seen any of them in my life. And it's a lot of analytics people they have coming out there. So I know they've got a bigger analytics staff, and so maybe that plays into it. Maybe he's got a go-to guy that
you already told us this
situations.
2 weeks ago, John. You brought this to our attention of how the thing that stood out to you the most about the coaches being listed to go along with saying he has a guy that was hired specifically to be like a game clock coordinator or something like that, like a game management coordinator or something. Yeah. So to me, Shotty is he's foreseeing the potential issues he could have as a head coach because he's been around it. He's been tutored by guys like Pete Carroll and Rex Ryan, all these other people. Like, he knows the issues he may have. So to me, he's already starting to do the work to kind of get ahead of, and I like that.
And this isn't, and what I just said isn't even a Schottenheimer thing necessarily. I would say everything I just said is the exact same thing. If this was a Bears podcast and we're talking about Ben Johnson, when you go from never being the head coach, there are just going to be things that are on your plate that you just weren't expecting, that you're like, oh, I got to deal with this right now. Because even Schottenheimer talked about this a little bit at the combine of like, hey, you might have to leave a meeting and then go to something else. And that's why him and Clayton, he liked Clayton so much, is because they see things a similar way. And so if he has to leave to go tend to something else, he feels so confident that Clayton Adams, the way that they view things, hey, he can take over this meeting and I can catch up on stuff later because I have to go handle something else. That type of stuff that, let's be honest, there's probably going to be year one. There's going to be, some hiccups here and there that they're going to have to work out. So.
Yeah, he's trying to resolve most of that stuff, man. And on top of that, with that being said, John, I got a chance to talk to a few Bears fans, believe it or not, downtown Dallas, and they were saying that they like Matt Eberflus, but one of the things that he didn't do well at is what clock management, and that was one of the things. They said they really liked him, but he just thought that he wasn't good head coach material. So by you telling me that also make me move Brian Schotty now to 5.5. Instead of 5.0. I'm growing up with them.
Here we go. The Eagles, most physical team in the league because of their lines. I'm like Voch, go trenches. Hey, thank you for the super chat. I'll touch it again. But to me, like,
I ain't talk about these trenches again, bro. We done spent 15 minutes on this already.
Well, we want to honor the super chat. Thank you for the super. But here's the thing, him. Let's develop what we got. That's where I'm at. Me and Voch have fought many a year about the line. He'll draft the
Voch wrong. How about that? No trenches.
Does he want 5 first? Does he want 5 first on the offensive line?
What? And everybody else. He want 5 first rounders on offensive
Josh Simmons, baby.
Oh, man.
Well, the problem is, here's my thing about the trenches too. Last year was supposed to be the best O-line class, and they really didn't hit. None of them hit. They won.
Like maybe 1 or 2 of them dudes hit last season, bro.
Yeah, so it's just I'm all right. All right, safety was a big liability. This is a good one.
Yeah,
we're gonna start Thomas at safety and finally draft another. So here's
Nick.
Where I'm at.
I don't think that's the plan.
Hey, Cowboy trade. Here's where I'm at. I think you brought Wanye back to be the role he's been in, special teams ace.
Yep.
And love Wanye, but there's a reason why he can't get on the field over bad safety playing Dono. Malik Hooker's had his struggles. I think that Wanye can be a starter, but I don't know if I want him starting. And again, I know there's a lot of people in the community who want to be friends with these guys. I don't. At the same time, safety was a big liability, and I get that, but there's no way you're using a pick on a safety in this draft. So,
you like the South Carolina kid though?
Oh, Nick Imawari, yeah, love him.
Yeah, okay,
great player.
good.
But
hey, on that earlier comment, I also wanted to add, every team has Andrew Booth. There's not enough good corners not to have Booth. It just, do you stay healthy enough that you don't have to get to Booth? Because every team goes through that. There's not enough good corners to be on that level. You need 3-4 like top corners because everybody's playing dime and nickel now. So
hey man,
to get your 5th, 6th corner, it's tough, man. It's tough to have someone that that you are going to have some nerves about. So
we going into overtime, y'all. Do y'all have enough time to go over all of these super chats? You going into overtime?
You got more?
Yeah, you got more super chats. Randy, we got Angie, and
let me say something. I said put a pin in something, and like we got
so much to talk about.
We got so much to talk about. We
if y'all got time, I got time. I'm just saying.
Like
we haven't talked about Osa. We haven't talked.
Let's go to an hour and 10, and we'll come because we'll have stuff next week.
Man, it's an hour and 10, bro. That's 5 minutes from now.
I don't know.
Just say bye. That's 5
minutes. You wrap up. Yeah.
How much time you got, John? Let's see. How much time?
No, it's fine. No, keep going. I'm good.
All right, so this is what I want to say.
We good.
It's crazy.
You don't want rushing out.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm actually good.
Somebody drop $100 in the chat. We go a whole hour.
Hey, so watch this though.
Cash app
so we
can break it up right now.
About the Cowboys being active. All right. Do people forget that Deron Bland stepped wrong and didn't play till the 5th game of the season or whatever it was, do people forget that Trevon later than that, and that Diggs, I don't care what Diggs is Diggs, that was such a
bro. Let me say
this, bro. No, we gotta stay right here. We gotta stay right here on Diggs, bro. That was I could not stand that he did that, bro. John, and I don't know, you probably don't even pay attention, but when he posted himself on Instagram, after the reports, come on, man. Like, I'm from the DMV. Come on, bro. Now I gotta talk. Now I gotta take my host voice off. Come on, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? No, you don't do that.
What you mean?
What's your point?
My point is this, Law. You tell your kid, you tell your son, clean the room.
Yeah.
Clean the room. I'm on my way home. Clean the room. You walk through the door, he clean the room. He acting like he cleaning. Bro, you just started cleaning when I walked in. You're literally proving everybody's point that you're not taking rehab serious, that you are here, that he basically is validating the reports.
Nah, real talk, Foots. Real talk,
like,
bro.
Why did you have to post? That was so dumb to me. I don't care what nobody. That was the dumbest thing.
I'll show you.
Right.
Record me doing my stretches.
Look, hey.
Come on, bro.
Hey, look, my knee. Get the knee. Like, come on, bro. If you
bone to bone,
speak on it.
Hold on, Foots. Can you pause 1 second? Give me 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds, bro. Please, 5 seconds.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on. David Jackson. Shut your ass up, man. You been crying the whole show, bro. You been crying the whole show, man.
I don't even
crying the whole show. This man has been intentionally sitting in the chat, watching the show and crying and complaining the whole time. That's like eating at a restaurant like, damn, I hate these chips. These mugs stale. I'm going to keep eating them, though. Hey, matter of fact, give me another order of them chips.
What is he saying?
He just been crying. Why is AOC popping his eyes? Damn, you got a problem with how I blink now? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Let's go, man. Damn. Oh, my goodness. He just said something else, man. He just said something else.
He said we're talking over each other.
Yeah, he like, bro, do you not know how the collective get down, man?
Yeah, this ain't .com, bro. We talk our talk. We just having fun, man. And this is why we doing a number for you. You get it raw here. Like, stop it, David.
We love you, but damn, David, quit crying.
That's David Cantor, man. That's D-Law's rep. That D-Law's agent. He's mad.
Let me say this, though, John. So I say all that to say, what AOC and bro, they're going to address linebacker and corner in free agency. You have to.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're going to allow Kalen Carson after how he looked. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, and you're not going to depend on, I don't care if he's picked number 12. You're not saying, hey, go guard A.J. Brown tomorrow. No, you're going to get somebody in here. Because I'm going to tell you this, John. I don't know what you've heard. I don't think Trevon Diggs is in their plans. It's out. You're done.
Darius Slay, baby.
I don't think he's in their plan. Guess what? If it ain't
Jair Alexander, bro. Give
next
me Jair
year,
and quit playing.
He's out. He is out. And he's out because guess what? If they got to they are everything that is so many people. What do they say, LC?
What about that tweet today from Micah, though? I don't know if he's out. See that Micah tweet?
What did Micah say?
Don't worry about no damn Micah, man.
Come on, what you talking about? What did Micah say?
There was a tweet said the Dallas Cowboys are officially under new leadership, and it's got a picture of CD, Micah, and Trayvon, and then Micah retweeted and said it's time.
Is that Jay Tuck?
Oh my gosh, bro!
Guess what Steven's saying? You might as well take one of these people out because where there's smoke, there's fire. At the end of the day, bro, you know why Mikey could say that? Because his production haven't dropped.
Dudes ain't leading a damn thing, bro. Let's stop it, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. No, I'm tired of this, bro. I'm tired of this. This is what I'm talking about.
Come on, man.
And Jay Tuck, you my guy, bro. But since John just said the tweet, bro. Dudes twerking for likes, man. Twerking for attention for players,
Whoa.
bro. Like, let's go, man. Stop, bro. Let's go. Stop. None of these dudes have shown you a damn thing leadership. CD maybe, bro. CD maybe. Micah had. Trevon Diggs hasn't shown nobody a damn thing that should be sitting there blowing air up this dude ass, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Man.
Stop all that twerking and stuff, man. Your cheeks is sweaty right now.
Whoa.
So look, this is what I'm emotional. Hold on, all right. Let's
Jay Tucker is great, by the way, but quit twerking. You too buff to be twerking.
But this is my point about I never forget when I was young in this, John. I went to a training camp, right? I never forget in Terrence Williams, right? Him and Mo Claiborne were going back and forth. And I'm from DC, so like trash talk and like all the banter, that's what we on. So like all the other fans was out there, they was just like so quiet. I mean, this was like 10 years ago. And I'm out there like, this is what I want. Compete. Yo, it's 2 country club around here. And it goes to my point. I don't care what player don't like me. I don't care who finds a video. I don't care who finds a tweet. Everybody, Clarence Hill.
That stuff be sickening, bro. He
said,
ready to throw up when I see that, bro.
He said there was no truth to my report. Guess what? Oh, my tweet. Guess what, Clarence? I guarantee you there are people in that front office who are ready to ship Trevon Diggs out of there.
Talking about some Trevon leading the team, leading a damn thing, but his rehab sessions. Trevon ain't leading a damn thing, bro. Shit, like, but them overalls up his crack when he putting on his exotic suits and stuff, man. That man.
Wow.
Man, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, let's stop this stuff, bro. Let's stop this, man.
All right, let's get to this one.
This is show, man.
Let's get to this one. This has been a great show. Let's get to this one. I think Jerry is on his last leg, like Jimmy Johnson. I feel like he showed us a disappointment, then hit us with something unexpected. Y'all thoughts? That's on the earlier conversation. Yes, I think, Randy. I mean, but like John said, he does make the final decision. So that
would be fun. I would love something new. Love to write about it. Love to talk about it on here. I hope that that's the case. That'd be exciting.
This is a good one for you, John. Why do you guys think that Osa was signed before Mike?
Oh, because he was willing to take something that could work with both sides. I mean, it was very telling today and in that press conference where Zach Martin and Steven and Jerry talked about how, like, Jerry joked that he's talked to Zach about his contract more than, and he might even said he's never talked to Zach's agent, which is not true because Tom Condon's been in the business for a long time, but that Zach would go into his office and talk about what he wanted and things like that. And so when you're not trying to get top of the market money, you can get, I mean, because it's not just Osa's deal. That's kind of what happened right before camp with Trevon Diggs, a couple of years ago, where it was like, he got a good contract, but it wasn't one of those where he's going to hold out for every last, top dollar or whatever. And in CD, Dak, and Micah's case, that's likely what is going to happen. And so that's why I still sit here today. I know Steven said today that they've had preliminary talks with Micah's agent about his deal. I'm still saying July. I just don't think that they'll get it done before then. And I think that could also feed into a little bit of why they did some of these restructures now, so that there is plenty of space for whatever they want to do. But I do ultimately think it gets done because of the fact that I don't think that, like, Schottenheimer is Jerry's pick. Schottenheimer is Jerry's pick, and Jerry's going to want Schottenheimer to have success, no question about it. Because if he doesn't, people are going to be like, "Why didn't you interview other guys? Why'd you hire Schottenheimer?" And so the reason I bring that up is because they're not going to want to go into training camp without their star defensive player trying to put in Matt Eberflus's defense. You need that star that you're building the whole thing around there. And so I think that's the leverage point. He won't do that CD skipping all camp last year stuff. He can't have that with Micah. He needs Micah at training camp. And so Jerry will be fine with him missing OTAs and minicamp, but once training camp comes, he's not going to want Micah not to be there. And so I think that's ultimately right before camp, or maybe the first week of camp is when it gets done. And now that I said it, it'll get done tomorrow.
Diggs ain't no damn leader, man.
And then we'll have something to talk about. I know you're really hammering that home. That's really bothering you.
Man. I just can't stand that fool.
That bothers you as much as these copy and paste tweets bother me.
Well, I think the problem is this. These guys. So this is my issue this is my issue with the fan base too. Let me get to the rest of these supers. AOC Micah still taking less for free agents.
That's why I popped my eyes when John said, because I think Osa was willing to do something that work kind of both sides. Michael, you better take that damn discount. That's all I know.
It's within reasons, right?
Within reasons.
Yeah. I don't have any doubts if Osa goes to free agency and goes to the highest bidder that he would get the most amount of money. But I think Osa really likes the role he's in. Obviously, he's their best defensive tackle. He likes Dallas. He likes the team that he's on. And so I don't know this to be a fact or anything, but I'm sure he went to his agent and was like, hey, I need a respectable contract, but hey, as long as it's close, I want to stay here. Everything's good here. I like the way I'm being used here. The way that I'm being used in the defense, the way that they're scheming things up. I love playing with Micah Parsons. Like, keep me here if we can. But if they're going to offer something real low ball, then no, we're not doing that. Then I'll go somewhere else. But as long as it's
John,
decent, I want to be here.
Let me ask you this. So what did Max Crosby got? So will it be with something within those range?
I think it's north of that. That's like $35 million a year. Yeah, I think he's getting 38, 40.
So did TJ get paid? Did TJ Watt get paid yet?
No, I know that one's coming up. That's supposed to be the next one. That's
so if we want to get in before that, right?
Absolutely.
So
Jerry,
why?
No, don't put nothing on Jerry. No.
You got to. Hey, AOC, you got to because that's going to represent Dave Mugata. What's his name? David Mugata.
David Mulugeta.
I can't say that last night, but I'm gonna tell you, he can't do that. AOC,
nah, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna reflect him. It's gonna reflect him.
The
contract.
Micah shouldn't have said what he said then.
The contract's gonna look different too because Watt is a little older. He's 30.
Micah shouldn't have said what he said.
AOC, has that ever happened before? Is this the first time that he said something he shouldn't have?
No, I'm talking about
the first.
No,
Micah, I'm saying Micah.
It happens way too much, John, and that's why I'm starting to hold his ass accountable for it. But nah, he better not come in with no $38, $40 million contract. Even
That's
TP,
the price of doing business.
No, remember even TP said today, Micah ain't trying to be the top paid.
Oh, Micah
so
said that.
Reinforcing that. Reinforcing that. I need to see it, bro.
But what David trying to get?
They forced me to get the highest paid contract. I'm sorry. No fly zone, bro. Absolutely not. And to put a cherry on top. Hold on, put a cherry on top of this thing. Ice Cold in the chat was right on point with where I was going with why I'm so. I just hate the narrative building and Michael playing into the narrative building of the Diggs, TD. Dak Prescott's the leader of this team.
Yeah, he's the leader of this team. But just to echo that, just to push back on you just a little bit, AOC. Do you really think that Dak Prescott wanted to be the highest paid player in the National Football League?
Yes.
Yeah. He just wanted to be, hey, I want to be the highest paid player in the National Football League. Or it just came about that it was his turn to be.
Are you telling me that the Jones family volunteered to do that law?
Hey, it's just for what it is. No. So that's going to be the same situation with Micah and his agent. His agent going to want him to get paid. Yeah. That's all I'm getting at. He's going to try to fight for that 10%.
I think Dak wanted to be paid like a
respectfully
deal. Yeah, respectfully. And that's what respectfully was compared to the guys who was getting paid. He was better than those guys. You can't take a pay cut over those guys. But Dak also didn't come out and say, I'm willing to take less to help this team do better.
I don't play for the money. You know what I'm saying?
I don't pay for the money is not the same as directly saying I will take a pay cut so we can sign somebody else.
All right.
Don't do that,
Law.
I'm the heel today. Come on with it.
I mean, you're both making great points on this.
It's my turn.
Hey, AOC that said they twerking for likes. He said it's my turn. Yo, but I ain't gonna lie. One thing that does bother me about I do not like people in our position, right? I'm gonna say this on air. Y'all, our job is to tell the truth. I think, John, you do a great job of that.
Great job.
I don't care. Like, I'm a fan of this. And this is what was able to put me in this position and people who I'm able to make money and talk about this stuff. Why? Because we love it. But if I stop telling the truth and I stop not giving real opinions, then people are not going to love me, you. People have to stop with this fandom stuff. I'm going to say this, and I'm not giving Diggs a hard time because I think at one point Diggs was a great player.
Yeah, and I ain't got no beef with none of these guys.
Come on.
Here's why Diggs was a great player, but he's not anymore. Number one, the production isn't there. The production is completely falling off. Go look at the numbers.
I'm just trying to see where you're going because AOC said earlier Diggs only had one good season. So you saying the same thing?
He had one transcendence. He had one great season. Everything else was like,
how good has Diggs been? Seriously,
not for real.
No, I'm asking you, Law.
He had a decent rookie year. His second year was great.
Hold on. Did we
the end of that year was good. The end of that year was good.
Yeah, but historically he looked good. He played lights out. He knocked the ball out of DK Metcalf. He played through the echoes of the whistle. Come on with it. Don't y'all take a dump. Don't y'all be taking a dump on my doggone guy Trayvon Diggs, man. Come on.
Dump,
yes,
man.
y'all is.
No, we not, bro. No, we not. I got to make this very clear, bro. I have no, hey, chat, listen to me. I know I say polarizing stuff. I have no ill will towards any of these guys. I have no reason to hate on none of these. I don't hate on them.
Facts.
It's nothing personal. I'm just trying to keep it a buck with y'all, bro. I got to make sure I maintain my credibility up here, bro. And I'm not about to sit here peddling no BS that honestly could be to the detriment of the team. Because what the hell does a Trevon Diggs-led Dallas Cowboy team look like? That shit gonna look like a damn Gucci fashion show out there on the football field. They gonna be running around on the field with their ass cheeks out.
Lamb dress up nice too. Now don't do that. Don't do
They
that.
wearing leather chaps with their ass cheeks out on the field.
Come on, man.
Hold on. We didn't mention twerking, butt cheeks too much. All right, here we go. This is what I do want to say, and we'll get to the rest of these supers. This has been a great one. Here's the thing, too. You want to talk about leadership. As much as Dak Prescott has, as much criticism he has to take, he has never been too high or too low, especially with the media. When Diggs had that bad game last year, and what did I say last week, John? I said, bro, these players are on Twitter too much. It's like, oh, y'all can't focus. Y'all like little kids. Why are you on Twitter thinking about what some reporter said? He don't hold no weight over what you do. Go play football. The first thing you did was walk off of that field and you go attack that reporter. He was angry. What are you talking about? And like, not really physically attack him, but like, bruh, this is the job. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna have something to say. If you can't handle this, you don't even play football. Like, and I
roasted me in the chat. Man.
But at the end of the day, apologizing and this, that, and the third, what happened. And so now, guess what, Law? The same you went off on him, but where was this energy when you were supposed to be healthy? And the reports are coming out that you don't care about rehab. And you like AOC said, you had every fashion week and every like, bruh, you're a football player first. Don't forget it. Because the minute, again, the only
reason around dressed like Uzi Vert.
The only reason you literally had somebody, I read through people, you literally had somebody hold a phone up and say, hey, make sure they see my knee. And you started acting like you was rehabbing. Like, come on,
hey,
bro.
I rode the elevator at MetLife 2 years ago, and he was on there. Lil Uzi. Sorry. You mentioned
Lil Uzi.
Had the same outfit as Diggs, huh? On a serious note, though, hey, let's be for real, though. Hey, if any players do see us cracking jokes on them, all I gotta say is this, bro. You make too much money to be that sensitive, bro. Take a joke, bro. I
had Antoine Woods say, "Hey, we gonna see about that when I see you." They do take it personal.
It ain't too much money to be that sensitive. I ain't got time for it. I'm sorry.
I like hit me. I'm finna be rich. Hit me, Antoine Woods.
What did you say?
It was something about dealing with his skill to play. It was something dealing about. This is what I said. This is exactly what I said. I like Antoine Woods, but I don't see him as a 30 snap guy. He's anywhere between 10 to 12 snaps. I would like him on it at that, and he won't beat me up over that because I said I just see him as a rotational piece. You know, he's big and wide, but he's not tall enough, and he can't penetrate long enough so that we can be an impact on the game. So I would like him anywhere between 10 and 12 snaps. And that joker jumped in on that video. Hey, Law, we'll see about that when I see you. You know.
Hey, that's when you dry your face off so you cut easier. Like, hit me, please. Hit me right here.
Hit my good side.
and guess what, Law? He didn't do nothing. He ain't say nothing. They not gonna do nothing.
Nah.
Players is all fluff.
They get emotional.
They just emotional. And honestly,
that's a good question. That's on there.
What's the question? Oh yeah. So okay, let's get to that, John.
Man, I don't care about interviewing these players on my platform, man. I don't care. They ain't making me no mulakas. Okay.
All right, John.
Come on with it.
How much of a chance do we have Charlotte taking this franchise over? I hate Cowboy.
She'll be part of it, but she's not going to run football. That's going to be a Stephen Jones thing. John Stephen Jones has been around a lot more over the last year and a half, but Charlotte will definitely be involved. But there has been times where I've thought about it a lot more over the last 2 years of potentially how that could be successful, just because That's kind of what happened in Detroit. And you're getting a position where, she would hire probably a GM and probably wouldn't want to be as hands-on as Jerry is. So I don't think it'll happen.
Charlotte would be like amazing to be.
Because you get out the way.
Right. It would be kind of be interesting to see. I would, but I just don't think it's very likely. I know there was another one about, has Jerry ever hinted at retirement? No way. I mean, this is like his toy. His toy is the Dallas Cowboys. It's his. That's honestly, it's probably kept him young.
He gonna be up there like Queen Elizabeth, just a figurehead, 100%, barely alive.
Yeah, I gotta say this, guys. 441 people in the chat logged.
Come on with it.
Type of sound check. I mean, this is amazing.
Oh man, come on with it.
Episode 14.
Damn, that was a good title change, wasn't it, Law?
Yeah, it was a good title change.
Hey, David Jackson. Hold on here.
Wait a minute, what did he say?
I'm just gonna say this. I hope I'm not being offensive here or anything, AOC.
If you are, screw it. What's up?
There's a little bit, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I saw him today. Lyle Collins was at Zach's press conference, and you do look a little bit like him. So when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, no, there is definitely some of that. Yeah.
I understood.
I think it's just because I saw him today, but I'm telling you,
I understood. When he said it, I was like, yeah, I can't even get mad. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I see a little D-Lo there too, so fuck it.
Yeah. James Harden for me, you know what I'm saying?
No, Law, you look like you
sure.
definitely. Law, y'all low-key came out the womb together, brother.
So Randy said this cost me $15, but worth it. Here to hear y'all's opinion. Do y'all think Jerry is trading Micah Parsons based on how valuable picks are this time of year? Hey, Randy, thank you for the 10 and thank you for spending your money with us. The answer is no. No. He's not.
Let me retort though. You know what I'm saying? If his deal don't get done by draft day, it could be an option.
No. Hey. You're not trading Micah Parsons. Just stop it.
Micah Parsons already lamented the fact that he's willing to take a discount, and you don't work that deal by draft day. I think that could be a situation, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Me and Law never argue.
Right there.
I'm just saying, and I like Parsons. I'm Team Parsons.
Micah Parsons. He will be on the Dallas Cowboys moving forward.
I want Micah here. I think it's a possibility.
When I wasted 9 hours in a Marriott hotel lobby waiting for Jerry, that thought did cross my mind because that would be the biggest chip because you're not trading CD. You can't trade Dak. There's just too much dead money on either of those. So I did think about that as well because I was just swinging at whatever could be the biggest possibility, like wild card thing. And that's why I said like the Travis Hunter thing too. But I just can't see it happening. Because it's just so unlike Jerry. You know, it's hard for me to sit there and say I can see that happening when I just tell you earlier in the show that this is why I don't think they're going to be like super active and have this crazy offseason that they haven't had in 10, 15 years because I just haven't seen him part with a star like that. I mean, look at even Osa, like it's just another example. There's guys that they really like. They don't leave the building. And then the other part that would make it so surprising to me is because they're not going to say this publicly, but they know they took a lot of cover from the Mavericks with the Luka trade. Because that was right when they were getting on from McCarthy. There wasn't, whatever. They were moving on to Schottenheimer. Like that, the Mavs doing that helped out the Cowboys a little bit. Take the hate as much as it was going at that point there. And just seeing what's happened since they've traded Luka Doncic in your backyard, I just cannot see Jerry doing that and having that feeling of, kind of like we've seen in the Hard Knocks with John Mara going, man, I just really wouldn't want to see Saquon go to the Eagles. I can see Jerry being like, I just really don't want to see Micah going somewhere and then they win a Super Bowl or something. He just doesn't part ways with stars. So
Micah seemed like he petty enough to go to the Eagles too. If Micah, see, that's the problem. You would have to sign Micah then trade him because there's no way you just trade him. Because I feel like he would be petty enough to be like, all right, bet I'm going to the Eagles for real now.
I don't know if he would have a say in that. Micah, I don't think he would have a say in that. I think they can trade him to whoever he wants.
That's what I'm saying. They could trade him, but he don't have to re-sign there. That don't mean have to
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because he would be a free agent next offseason.
Yes,
So that would be the scary part about trading Micah is like, ooh, I hope the contract comes with that. But yeah, he needs to stay in Dallas though. I mean, unless you just get something to just knock you over the head. I mean, there's no reason to trade him, bro. You can afford him, so there's no reason to trade him.
How when you say knock you over the head, how many picks would you have to get for you to be happy?
It would have to be,
or for you to understand, be like, okay, I get that.
It would have to be at minimum. It would have to be 2 first rounders, a player, and a player. A player that's ready to start day one.
They're talking about 2 1s for Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett's got a better career than Micah Parsons, but he's on the back end of that, where Micah's entering his prime right now. So I don't see how it would be anything less than. I think the call starts at 2 1s, but I just don't see. And I just don't see. Jerry knows he was very fortunate to get Dak, CD, and Micah where he did. To roll the dice and think, okay, I'm going to get 2 1s. Who knows where they're even at in the draft? I mean, those 2 1s could end up being Taco Charlton and I don't know, Mozzie Smith or something, and it's just like, was that really worth it to give up, Micah for that?
We got some updated news. The teams are willing to at least give a 3rd round pick for DK Metcalf. I would throw my 3rd round pick away for that DK Metcalf.
I would say
this is the thing. It's the same deal.
Plus the money.
But that's the thing. That's why it's a 3rd round pick, and it should be more because you have to then pay him. He wants to get paid. If it's like if he was already under contract and there was like 2 years left or something, 3 years left, you probably wouldn't even have to. It would be a little bit different compensation than that. But you got to pay him too. I just don't.
Up out of here. If y'all get Donovan Wilson,
John, he's 27 years old, right?
Yeah.
Do a 5-year contract, and if he's willing to come to Dallas, and then rework his contract out, by the way, and then put some portable years on it. We got $70 million. Let's see what we can shape.
Pull the Eagles.
What do you think his APY gonna be though? In the Wilford League, 30,
DK will probably be about
30.
30. His AP. How old is DK? 27.
He's 27.
I think he'll probably come in at probably right around what Brandon Ayuk got, which is like 30, 31, bro.
If we can get him just above Smitty, if we can get him to do one of those type of deals,
27, 28, yeah.
Would he shake with that?
I think he would. No income tax, no state income tax.
You sell that?
I'm gonna pass.
Slide an oil bond, Jerry.
You said you gonna pass on
I'm
DK.
Pass.
Matthew Golden.
DK do be dropping balls, but if we trade for him, I'm gonna say he got the best hands in the league.
I'll say this. I think you could bring in DK, but it would be you got to get these other deals done. I
give him Mingo. Give him Mingo.
I don't think they want Jonathan Mingo. That's for sure.
Man, leave Mingo alone. I'm about to start defending Mingo on this show, man.
Give him Mingo, Flanoy.
I actually like Jonathan Mingo. I don't know why people
Mingo
don't.
is a prototypical receiver build, bro. Just get it.
Yeah, he good.
Bro,
people,
we had Cooper Rush throwing him the ball. All right, guys.
Rush out there.
All right, hey, listen, man. We got up to 450 today. What a great show. And we didn't even talk about Osa's deal. Like, this was just a banger of a show. Yeah. Everybody got their takes off. So we will
Osa
see
got
you guys.
paid. There we go. We talked about his deal. Yeah.
Osa got paid. And rightfully so. He earned his money.
Just real quick, though. Was it too high, too low? Just go around the board. Too high, too low for Osa? Or just right? Too high, too low, just right.
That's right.
Okay.
Just right.
John, too high, too low.
It's fine.
Just right.
It's fine. It's fine. I think that I thought it would be closer to 17, 18, but obviously they think he has a lot more to. Maybe they think they have to think that this past season there's more of that to come, and I think it's fine also because he was getting more than that on the open market. Right. So I don't think they're a big problem, and I think it's 58 guaranteed. So it's kind of like a 3-year. If they wanted to get out after 3 years, they probably could. So. I think he's a good player, but it just shows you how few defensive tackles there are, too.
David got me. He got me red-handed right there. David said, y'all defend Mingo, but not Diggs. That's diabolical.
We like Diggs. It's just
you're right. We like Diggs.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, David. Stop doing that, y'all, because y'all be twisting folks' words.
Diabolical.
Like, this is my problem right here, John. They act like Diggs wasn't paid handsomely. Diggs has been paid.
His guaranteed money is about to be out too. So hey, let's go.
He's been paid and he's pulling off. So the same people who, man, Steve and Jerry suck. They're idiots. They don't pay.
Yeah, you don't hold on to guys that's showing you that they don't have anything. I mean, come on, bro.
The problem that when them paying is it just they have not gotten good returns on their investment.
Yeah.
No.
And when is the last time we've seen
plus,
a DB come back from 2 injuries like that? I don't think we've seen a player at the skill position come back from those type of injuries and be anything close to what they were, bro.
Outside of Rod Woodson, who else I can think of?
I mean, Adrian Peterson, but he didn't have 2. He had just 1. He had 1.
And Rod Woodson had 1, and that's many a moons ago.
Diggs, man, it's just being real. It's not that we don't like these guys. What it is we're trying to be for real with y'all as far as giving y'all real analysis on what makes this team better and what routes they should take moving forward. It's not about who we like, who we don't like. That's being a fan, right? We trying to be real with y'all and disseminate information to y'all and just kind of entertain y'all at the same time. But, I mean, we like Diggs as a human being. I'm sure he's a great father, great person, right? Football player, being a Dallas Cowboys fan, I think the team can do better. And he's just not
a great dresser, huh? He's just not a great dresser. That's what he can't dress good.
He just dressed like a rugrat. That's it.
But hey, be sure, ladies and gentlemen, those who watching, we will run this episode back.
We need to get to it's enough people in here right now, and I know all 444 of y'all that's in here ain't subscribed. There's enough people in here right now, bro. We probably just need like 30 or something. Like we just probably need 30 people to get us up to 2,000 subscribers.
No doubt.
So everybody hit that sub button. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Check everyone out on all their platforms, and y'all be sure to tap in to us. And we're gonna be here twice a week now, so we gotta make sure that y'all know that.
And let them know what we're gonna do tomorrow, because that was what I'm gonna say.
You let them know that part. Twice a week.
Okay. Wait a minute. Come on, man.
I can't read your mind, Lord.
Wait a minute. I'm going to say we're going to run this show back tomorrow. That's what I'm going to say.
Run this show back tomorrow. And don't be late. 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Powered by Bet US. Come on with it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Much love to y'all. Until next time, Law, you got us. Remember.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
How about
the Collective Boys? Come on.
All right. Much love, y'all. Peace.